Vaidyan. He goes to one Vaidyan 1 hour from here. He's just reached there.
So he may not come.
He has reached there just now. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hariom, pranam, Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram. So we were sharing yesterday about the first and second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. To begin with, we would like to read a few words of Swami Ranganathan Ji Maharaj when he deals with the second and third sloka in the second chapter. When he knew that Arjuna got thoroughly dispirited, dejected and depressed, first a boost has to be given to him, no? So in the two slokas he says, Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya jushtam aswargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. This is simple Sanskrit full of meaning. Where from has come this word? This very low attitude, no? In this most difficult situation, you have brought up this kind of argument and developed this attitude. In the midst of the two armies, the battle is about to begin. At this moment, you say, "No, I cannot. I am going away. I am going to Rishikesh." Anarya Justam. A noble-minded person will never take to this attitude. Running away from the field of activities. Yesterday, it was made clear to us that Kurukshetra is in us. Arjuna represents a sense of individuality, and the indwelling reality comes out in the form of Lord Krishna. And in us there are two types of tendencies. One is the Daivik, the other is Asuric. So as soon as we become aware of the Asuric tendencies in our mind, naturally, we get dejected, depressed. So at that time the Lord advises, it is unfitting. Let us see what he says. So this is anaryam. The attitude we have adopted is not applied, it's not adopted by Aryas, only ignoble people. Those who are not Arya have your attitude aswargyam. It won't give you any glory either in heaven or on earth. You won't have any glory thereby. Akirtikaram. Also it brings you bad name, ill fame. Arjuna was a great warrior. He has fallen a prey to weakness. His name will suffer in the world. These three words, Anarya Justam, Aswargyam, Akirtikaram, acted as a shock treatment to Arjuna. Arjuna never expected that. Arjuna never expected that. He expected that Sri Krishna would pat on his back. Arjuna, you have done well, you are such a noble soul, having compassion on everybody, you don't want to kill anybody, you would rather be a mendicant than a fighter. All this that was expected by Arjuna. But it did not come from Krishna. He scolds him, gives him this kind of shock treatment. This verse gives the negative approach. Now comes the positive approach. Sri Krishna is telling him in the next verse. Klaibyam asma gamapartha naidatvayuvodhyade Kshudram hriday daurbalyam tyaktotishta parantapa. This is a powerful verse. Klaibyam means chicken-heartedness. You can say weakness. Absolutely no strength. No manliness in it. Don't fall a prey, Arjuna, to this meanness, this chicken-heartedness. Why? This does not befit you. You are heroic. You are so noble. You are so great. This behavior does not befit you. Whenever I read this part of the word, Swamiji says, I like this wonderful sentiment fit for telling children, it does not befit you. You are so good, you are so noble. The way you behave does not befit you. That will bring the best out of the person. So this approach of naidattayuvavadyade, it does not befit you, can be an educational maxim for parents and teachers with respect to children, and generally also for men and women when they deal with each other. Gandhians used to say gunaropanam, no? Suddenly, the goodness of the godliness is touched and kindled in us. We are awakened to the truth that God has given us this power. God has given us this potentiality, this capability, the expertise, the skill. And it should be befitting. My behavior should be befitting to that. That means you respect the person. He or she has forgotten his or her true nature and is doing something below his or her dignity. So this appeal is a positive appeal. It is the power to evoke the best in you, the best in the listener. Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, this is not your true form. Some Maya has come upon your mind, this weakness, this dejection, what is called nervous breakdown, that is not your true form. When we have a nervous breakdown, how weak we become like a baby. I had to deal with a very close friend, a principal of an engineering college, a noble-minded person, highly respected by all the students and teachers when I was in Karachi. He got a nervous breakdown. His condition was like that of a baby, absolutely no strength, no energy, no courage. Can't meet anybody, he won't go to college, he will live at home. I took him in the car, took him to the engineering college, made him sit on the principal's chair. You run this college. You are such a great soul, so noble. As soon as they left, he also left and came and sat in his house. He couldn't meet anybody. But after 6 months, everything changed. All strength came back. That was just like a cloud coming over the sun, a temporary cloud. The real man came out again. The same wonderful work he went on. He built and developed 2 more engineering colleges in India. Later on, he passed away very peacefully. So with nervous breakdown, you become a nobody. Your old self is dead. Actually, it is not dead, it is there. It is clouded by this weakness that has come. So also we go to a psychiatrist. He deals with us somehow, he puts us into some good condition. This happening every day. This concept that man is essentially divine. All this weakness that you experience is not your true form. There is something profound about you. That is the basic Vedantic teaching.
Gunaji, please close.
This concept that man is essentially divine, all this weakness that you experience is not your true form. There is something profound about you. That is the basic Vedantic teaching. That is why when Vivekananda was asked in America during the question hour, Swami, are you not preaching some kind of hypnotism in the name of Vedanta? Just hypnotizing people. Swamiji immediately replied with a smile, no sir, I am dehypnotizing people. They are already hypnotized. They say, I am white, I am black, I am this, I am that. All that is false. You are the infinite Atman, one with all. That is your true dimension. Tattvamasi. You are that, you are that. Not this tiny organic system. There is something profound about you. So all education has this quality. It dehypnotizes you. Some weakness has come. It has obstructed your true form. You are essentially strong. How do you know? How many varieties of energies and strengths are within you? You don't know. Therefore, don't despair. You can get out of this difficulty. There is strength hidden within you. That is the positive attitude. Vedanta proclaims that everyone proclaims to everyone. Here Sri Krishna stands on the pedestal, then addresses Arjuna. He says, Naidattayuvavadyate. It does not befit you. It is just a temporary aberration. A little cloud has come there and the sound has become dark. The sun is still there. The cloud will go away and the sun will shine once again. That is how you have to deal with human weaknesses. We are not essentially weak, we are essentially strong. But when we don't realize this truth, we weep repeatedly over every problem. Like children, for example. The child's only language is weeping. Nothing else is there. For even grown-ups become like children. Swami Vivekananda's diagnosis of India during the last several centuries is a nation constantly weeping, weeping, weeping. Then he said, we have wept long enough. No more weeping. Stand on your feet and be men. This is a famous passage in Vivekananda's teaching. The whole nation has been weeping for centuries with a sense of inadequacy with respect to our environment. We did not know our own strength. Slowly that is changing. Yes, problems are there, but we shall find the way to deal with all these. In this way, that weeping state of India is changing now. No more weeping. We shall have to manifest our strength, face of these problems. I went to Jakarta in 63-64 at the time of Vivekananda's birth centenary, and at that time Dr. Sukarno, president, wrote a foreword to a book on Vivekananda in the Indonesian language. Swara Vivekananda. Swara in Sanskrit means sound. In Indonesian language it means words. Words of Vivekananda, sayings of Vivekananda. Sukarno wrote to the introduction, and he was having a 1-hour TV session to release that book. Indian ambassador Appa Pand was there as my host. In that introduction occurred this wonderful passage. Sukarno was deeply influenced by Swamiji's ideas from his young days. He always kept the complete works of Swami Vivekananda in his bedroom. And he told me, you can go to the bedroom, you will find all the volumes there. I read a page or two every day. So in that passage, in that foreword, he says, Swami Vivekananda, what a name. He was the one who taught me how to love my people, how to love my country, how to love the whole world. He was the one who said, we have wept long enough. No more weeping now, but stand on your feet and be men. That is the introduction. That book was in English. So this attitude which Sri Krishna expressed then found a new expression in our time in Swami Vivekananda. And Swamiji loved these two verses very much. In his discourses on the Gita, he says, if you can understand the spirit of these two verses, you understand the spirit of the whole Gita. This presents a strong philosophy meant to make heroes out of clay. This spirit must be captured by us. We could do so. We all read the Gita, but we did not catch the spirit of this powerful message. Now Swamiji has come again and given us the same message for strength to face up the problems. And in these lectures in England and America on Jnana Yoga, he referred to this particular truth in terms of his own experience. During his Parivrajaka days in India, somewhere in Benares or so, he was chased by a number of monkeys. He has been moving about as a wandering monk, going all through India. A number of monkeys in Benares are fierce, chased him. He was running. From a distance, the old sadhu shouted at him, Babaji, don't run away. Face the brutes. Swamiji thought this is a wonderful teaching. Immediately he turned back and turned toward those monkeys with a fierce look, and the monkeys fled away. He referred to this story in his London lecture. Face the brute. Otherwise you run away, and the brute will be chasing you all through your life. This is not manliness. Man has much better capacity hidden within him. So this Sri Krishna's tonic to Arjuna is a tonic we all need. The whole nation and the world itself will need it. So in the third sloka of this second chapter, Sri Krishna said, Klaibyam masma gamapartha. Don't give in to klaibyam. Actually it means a person of neuter gender. Napumsakam. It's such as weakness, chicken-heartedness. All these meaning attached to this word klaibya. Neither tayyuvavadhyade, it does not befit you. You have such a noble nature, heroism, courage, everything you have. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyakto tishta parantapa. He was sitting down, broken, sunk in the chariot. In that condition, Sri Krishna says, Uttishta, stand up. The first sign that strength has come to you is when you stand up. When you are still lying down, the old weakness is there. So stand up. It's a powerful word in dealing with the awakening of a human being. Stand on your feet and be men. So this weakness of the heart, which is Shudram, give it up. Oh Arjuna, stand up, face up to your problem. This is what Sri Krishna tells to Arjuna and to all of us when we are in difficulties and we do not know our inner strength. We think we cannot proceed anymore and or we break down. Then somebody has to come and give us the new strength. We think we cannot proceed anymore or we break down. Then somebody has to come and give us new strength. That strength is there, but somebody must give the touch. Then only will it manifest. We all need it. In fact, in your life you can see, if one is weak, you go and strengthen him or her by a few words. Then he or she really feels stronger. Even appreciating a person increases his or her strength. It is said in the Ramayana, when people were sent to search for Sita here and there, Hanuman was asked, go south, you will succeed. Hanuman took up the job. Then Angada or somebody else praised Hanuman. You are such a great soul, you have such achievements in your life. All that made Hanuman feel greater and greater confidence in himself in finding Sita, and he succeeded. In social relations, you can do two things to each other. Either destroy one's confidence or increase the self-confidence. Mostly we have done the negative thing in India. We have destroyed each other's self-confidence. Speak of his or great achievement, that will immediately make him or feel, I can, yes, I can. That is how Sri Krishna is dealing with Arjuna. Stand up. Face up to your problems. Don't become weak. Any type of weakness has no virtue about it. One great lesson Vedanta tells us, weakness and virtue can never go together. Virtue is strength. Weakness is no virtue at all. Where there is no courage, there is no virtue. Viraha is a great word in Sanskrit meaning Viraha. Viraha is a great word meaning heroic persons. In that person only you find virtue. In that person only you find virtue. In weak people, where is virtue? So this concept of dharma and virtue, even goodness, all these must be associated with strength and fearlessness. Then only they become positive. We somehow did not do so. We often call a good-for-nothing person as good because he or she does not harm anybody. He or she has not the power to harm anybody. Where is goodness in it? Where is the virtue in it? This is how our judgment had been wrong for centuries. That is why I sometimes tell parents coming to the ashram and saying, if there is a good-for-nothing boy in one's house, Swamiji, here is a boy, take him as a sannyasin in your ashram. He will be very good for you. It means that what is not good for the world is good for spiritual life. The truth is just the opposite. So our whole thinking has been defective in this matter. That heroic attitude was not there. Strength and fearlessness were not there. And today Vivekananda comes and preaches only this one great message, strength and fearlessness, Shakti and Abhihi. Jawaharlal Nehru writes about this message of Swamiji in his Discovery of India. Panditji writes, he gave a spirit of courage to our people. A strength, a spirit of manliness is the biggest contribution from any great leader. And so we need this kind of teaching in a big way. In olden days, Sri Krishna gave it. He was the very embodiment of strength and fearlessness. And the whole of Vedanta is a message of strength and fearlessness. Never will you find any stress on weakness in Vedanta. Always Abhihi. Abhihi means fearless. Apayam. Be fearless. Brahman, the ultimate source of the universe and human being, is Abhayam. What is the name of God? Fearlessness. And when you attain God, you become fearless. Janaka, you have achieved, sage Yajnavalkya tells King Janaka, you have achieved the state of fearlessness. That is your fullest spiritual development. Through fearlessness you develop spiritually and never through weakness. Animals are all weak. They are creatures. A human being can overcome fearless. He can become fearless by realizing one's own inherent divine nature. Vivekananda says that every page of the Upanishads preach only one message: fearlessness and strength. Are you strong? The human heart asks this question: are there no human weaknesses? Vedanta says yes, there are, but you can remove weakness through weakness. Weakness can be removed only through strength. Can you remove it, weakness through weakness? No. Weakness can be removed only through strength. Dirt cannot wash dirt. Only pure water can wash dirt. So another weakness cannot remove existing weakness. Strength alone is the remedy for the world's disease. This is the message of Vedanta. The more spiritual you become, the more fearless and strong you become, the more compassionate also. You combine two great virtues, fearlessness and compassion. In all Indian literature, you find this confidence of two difficult virtues, difficult to coexist: intense fearlessness, intense compassion. You can be fearful so that others are frightened. Or you can be so weak, anybody can frighten you. These extremes we have seen, but this rare combination is highlighted in the whole of our literature. And in this very Gita, when you come to this 12th chapter, Sri Krishna will tell, he or she is my true devotee, the one who is strong and fearless, yet is compassionate to all beings. He does not fear anybody, but nobody need fear him also. Yasmanno dvijate loka, lokanno dvijate jaya. That is a sign of spiritual growth and spiritual realization. So that the whole subject of every human being is growth, development, fulfillment. The whole subject of every human being is growth, development, fulfillment. And this is what Sri Krishna is handling in Gita's 18 chapters. So Krishna is giving the first initial tonic to Arjuna's broken mind through these two verses. And the tonic had the effect. When Sri Krishna spoke these words, Arjuna became somewhat strengthened, somewhat composed in mind. He could speak a little more coherently thereafter. That is what you will see hereafter in the coming verses. In Arjuna's words, a little coherence begins to appear, and that depression is no more there. Sri Krishna removed it by these powerful words. And with a little more calmness, a little more of rationality, he is putting forth his arguments in his reply to Sri Krishna's exhortations. That is the subject of verses 4 to 9 in the second chapter. So when we talk about entering into the Gita, the whole purpose is not to go through the whole portion. Any stanza, any theme that is a profound theme pregnant in each stanza, that is being touched, awakened, kindled in us. This is very important. As he said, otherwise you will be keeping the Gita. A glass of Amrita is kept on our table. We have not yet tasted it. We worship it. We offer flowers. We tell everybody, this is Bhagavad Gita. But we have not tasted it. So Swami Ranganathanji, through his discourses on Gita, all Mahatmas, that is why he titled this book, Universal Message of the Bhagavad Gita, an exposition of the Gita in the light of modern thoughts and modern needs. Unless it is interpreted in the way in which we can understand, we will not be able to eke out the real benefit. So now in our case, Papa has provided this wonderful opportunity for all of us, especially in this Sannyas centenary year. We will not just continue reading the Bhagavad Gita. We will try to make it our own. We have only read a few portions from the two slokas. It has called. Because we are all passing through every day so many challenges, so many untold problems in our life for which we don't have any direct answers. And naturally there will be depression, there will be stress, anxiety. How we will go forward? It is because we are viewing it only from our individual level. Whereas the indwelling reality is seated within, who is responsible for our very birth. When he has sent us here through a human birth, does he not know how to handle? Does he not know what the assignment he gives to us? There may be a purpose behind everything. So we are looking up to him. And as Papa says, the moment we start turning towards him, the face of the problem changes. Evidence is in quest of God. Through every...
Evidence-based.
Evidence-based.
Evidence-based, correct. Because it is every time when he meets with the different types of challenges, Papa never gets dispirited or dejected. Take any chapter and talks about fearlessness, It is not because of arrogance. It is not because of the awareness of our puny intellect. It has come out of the reality that I am God's child.
This is most interesting, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Evidence-based spirituality.
Correct.
Yes, it is not.
Yeah. He is we call him,
Put in practical use.
we call him Sarvashaktiman, omnipotent. And if we feel that we are useless, means what? We are powerless. That means our worship is only at the superficial level. Normally the attribute that Papa keeps on telling, dwell on the attributes. Omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. These are the three words he uses, He is present everywhere. He is Sarvajna. He is Sarvashaktiman. All potentialities, faculties, expertise, everything is there. And it is revealed through His grace. And each one has got an assignment in this world play. And looking at a doctor, if I feel, I am not a doctor. No, I have a different assignment. The advocate or the judge or the scientist or the agriculturist, each one is designated, All of them contribute. Nobody is more superior, nobody is less. All of them contribute for the welfare of the entire society. Think about it. So when we look up to him, suppose we want to put into the shoes of somebody, it may not suit us. So in these two, the first chapter portrays the person who deals with the body level. He suddenly gets kindled about his attachment. And then he loses all the enthusiasm, vitality, and he breaks down and sits, leaving the Gandiva and says, I am not going to fight. And Sri Krishna uses this technique. This is the second and third sloka of the second chapter. And he watches whether our diagnosis is right or wrong. So Sri Krishna also gives him time. And he finds there is a marked difference in the approach of, not that he is fully lifted, but there is some sign. And in the next few slokas, we find the same Arjuna is telling, okay, but afterwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stanzas. He again lists why he was made to think earlier. And then Sri Krishna clarifies. He takes another nearly 43 slokas, From the 10th sloka to, if you remember right, you can just imagine, from the 10th sloka he starts, and to 43 slokas he explains, 44 slokas to be more precise. And through, you must have the patience, So the first tangible gain of this tonic, the two slokas, is that he has become receptive. He is dealing with a fundamental philosophy about the transient nature of this life. We have to now again split, as we said yesterday, because 43 slokas cannot be just read or just gone through like that. Again we have to go deeper and deeper and deeper into it. These are all the problems faced by us. But normally speaking, we can say that the message is very, very clear through Krishna, that whenever we deal with men and matters at our level, the present level, we may not be able to find answers. But when we raise ourselves to a higher level, we will be able to find answers. For that we need a spiritual preceptor, a teacher, a guide, a well-wisher. We have shared this with you previously, but again we will repeat because it fits into this context. We were told that when people fell to this alcoholism and when they became an addict, it was a big problem for the ladies especially. And so, one family in Chennai, they were highly well placed materially, culturally, everything. But one of their young, he fell into this habit and we were told he died. But his missus took up the challenge. She went to London and learnt about this Alcoholics Anonymous, there is a method by which they can be rehabilitated. And after study, she came and set up a unit in Chennai. We had visited that unit, very, very, very. It's a temple of Seva, we would say. After that, the treatment will be there for 15 or 20, 21 days. And then there are no medicines, mostly counseling and somehow disciplining. So when they go out, this is the most interesting part. When they go out, they have been asked to meet once in 15 days or something like that. Periodical meeting should be there. So that each one will explain how they were able to tackle the issue, how they did not slip, how they were able to hold on, so that if somebody is weak, they draw the inspiration from the other. There is also an unwritten law, an unwritten tradition, that whenever anybody feels that he is likely to slip, he must immediately have in his pocket, he must have the telephone numbers of as many of his friends who have come out of this. He should immediately telephone to one of the people. And on immediately receiving, they should leave everything there. Whatever may be the involvement they may be, they must leave it there, get into an auto or a taxi or their own vehicle, reach up to this man. Any delay, he may slip. So one day it so happened that we had been to many decades ago in Bangalore. One family, we know them very well. Only one, he has got Mr. Matthew by name. He has got a son and a daughter. Daughter was well placed in Dubai. Son was a very nice boy. He was studying in Wayanad. After that, somehow he went to Dubai. And then later on, when he came back, he fell into this habit. Young boy, 20, 21 years old. He was unable to control. The parents, who were really, leading a good life, they had no other problem. They were passing through most trying periods. And finally, they admitted him in a rehabilitation center. Okay, that is the history. After some time, when we went to Bangalore, they were running a, what do you call this? Supermarket. So we went there. We saw him. He's a grown-up boy. I saw him as a small boy. I was very happy because energetic, he active. We told him, where is your dad? Dad is at home. They have done enough for us. We have to take care of them. Once in a way, if you feel like bored, you can come. That's what we told. And he was leading he looked very cheerful, happy. All positive things were there. Suddenly, when we were discussing, he said, I'm very happy after a long time we are seeing you. And I have got Punarjanma. He said, this is a rebirth for me. I never knew that I have got a life. But the rehabilitation center gave me a new life. And like me, so many friends are there. As we were discussing, suddenly a telephone call came. He immediately said, if you are not in a hurry, please wait. Otherwise, I have to go immediately. I said, okay, it's all right. We also had some other jobs, so we said we would come back. So after 1.5 hours or 2 hours, we came back and the boy was back again. He said, why I rushed up? This is our unwritten understanding. One of our friends, he was about to fall into again. So he just gave a call, desperate. So immediately he took his two-wheeler, rushed up to that place, spent time with him, took him out. And then slowly things started moving and he was charged, Just like we charge our mobile or any gadget, the charging was done and he came back. Then he was explaining to us. We were not aware of this. Then he said, this is our unwritten agreement. Because immediately the care and concern for others. Otherwise he would have slipped. So if Lord Krishna has not given this tonic through these two slogas, there would not have been any Mahabharata story or Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Just imagine these two slogas. Pumping up the air, inflating, in a punctured test cycle tube. It has to be done. And this is what we need. Every one of us are passing through such. So at that time when somebody comes and talks to us, we have to immediately think God has given us an opportunity to do this inflating. Not that we are telling him something untrue. We immediately try to say God has given us an opportunity. He has got this capacity to handle it. He has forgotten about it because God is in him. God would not have sent with an empty content. He would have definitely sent with an assignment, and that probably he may not be aware. He has to get in touch with the great provider. The moment he is in touch with the great provider, he will come to know what he has in him or what God has deposited in him. That is the way. So this is something for all of us to think deeply. What is it that the take-home message for us from the second chapter, the first two? As we go deeper and deeper, we will find all the 72 chapters are full of profound ideas. They are related to our workaday world. We are not living in 5000, there's a period where, this was taught. The historicity, or we are not concerned about that. We are worried about our workaday life, the workaday problems. And is there anything that I can take some clues or some hints from this? With this attitude, when we approach Gita Ai, Gita Ma, we address her as Gita Ma, please. Remember that. In the first Dhyana Sloka, we address her as Mother. So we go to her, give us some solutions. And with that background, when we go through these slokas, we find there is a ready-made answer for our problems which he creates for us, so that we will be able to eke out the best. So these are all the thoughts he wanted us to share. More about this tomorrow. Our Swamis are going, so we thought we would stop this at 4:45. So our request is, kindly, please, all of you have Gita text with you, na? Nobody is answering.
Yes, Swami.
You have taken it out from the Alamara. We want you to take it out, dust, open, and then join. Our journey will be very joyous. It will be 100% joyous if we connect it with our day-to-day problem. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Hari Om, Hari Om, Pranam, Pranam to everyone.